Okay, what is today? It is Red Nose Day. And what does that mean? That means fight against, well, it's falling off, fight against child poverty and children in need, okay? And I have all kinds of stories throughout my whole life where I've seen some horror stories, trust me. As this is, I gotta take this off because I'm laid off work currently. I don't have children, but I give back all the time. And I am going to go read to some kids, so I've got to take this off just for a minute because I can't breathe. Um, in sixth grade, I was taught very valuable lessons from really good teachers at Glen Knoll Elementary School, Mr. Lord and Mr. Perkins. There was a free lunch program for the kids that couldn't afford lunch. I don't even know if they ate breakfast, sadly. And the other kids would pick on them. And they used to pick on me because I was a chubby little girl. Now I'm skinny, or they say, or slim, and they don't like that, so they pick on me. But I'm an adult, so I can handle it, right? I don't understand why kids do this, but what you need to do, I feel, if you're a parent, is tell or teach your children that what you have isn't necessarily what little Johnny has, okay? He may not have a toy box. He may not have a phone. He may not have a house. He may not have food. He may be living on the street or in the car. So that's something that is very important to me, this whole cause. I've always been taught to pay it forward, always, as a little girl, consistently. And my father raised me a lot of life lessons. And with Memorial Day weekend coming up, I think about that as well, where I thought, oh, I woke up, I was like probably 6 or 7 years old, and I woke up and I thought, wow, okay, cool, we're going to a luau, the pool party. This is going to be a blast, right? Oh, my dad came in, not so fast. I'm like, I thought I was in trouble, actually. He's like, we have something to do first. I got to teach you something. And I'm like, okay. I was completely confused because I still thought I was in trouble. Where is he taking me? What am I learning? What life lesson now are you teaching me, Dad? So he took me to a man's house, and it was a coworker of his. Well, actually, it was a employee of his. And the man opened the door, and he started crying. And my dad said, "I'm really sorry about the loss of your son. I'm really sorry." And I still didn't understand what was going on. I mean, as a 7-year-old kid, how do you actually, put that into your head and process it? Um, and then he gave him a basket of, food and said, we'll be here for you if you need us, and don't worry about anything, that sort of thing, right? So afterwards, I said, Daddy, what happened to that man? Why is he crying? And he says he lost his son in the Vietnam War. And I said, what's that? He's like, well, you don't need to know too much about that, but war is not always a good thing for us. It's a very bad thing. But sadly, it does happen. And sadly, sometimes it has to happen. And I don't like it at all, but you do what you got to do. I'm like, I don't understand still. He's like, well, we have to go to a couple more houses. So he took me to a couple other houses where I learned very, very valuable life lessons. And to this day, I will never forget that moment in time. Sorry. Kleenex is, okay, Kathy Lee, my Kleenex is not coming down from the ceiling. What's happening? I'm in the wrong studio, I guess. That day I learned a very, very valuable life lesson. No matter how much you have, which right now, we're kind of struggling with me at work because I'm usually the main breadwinner. Okay. But I have a lot to give to the kids. I don't have kids. I love kids. I'm going to go and read to a bunch of kids right now. I'm kooky as heck, and they're going to have one hell of a time. So, and I made a bunch of cupcakes, and I can't wait. So, do something for kids today. There's a lot of kids that go to school hungry. And that's sad because it's hard to concentrate on math and spelling, and they're probably trying to avoid their stomach growling and when it's quiet in the classroom. Thankfully, my father, when he raised me and my sister and brother, he had a great job. So I was lucky in that regard. And he was a very hard worker. But just remember to teach your kids that not everyone has what they have. Please, if you do nothing else today. And with that said, we'll put the red nose back on. I'm not going to drive around with it because I'll probably crash. But I'll put it on when I read to the kids. I've got a couple of books lined up. Nikki 6, I can't read your book because that would be too devastating for the little tykes. But I did see your posting about your reading to some kids. I do it every year too. Ciao.